Hey, it's Steve from the Steve and Allen Show, and if you grew up in Indianapolis and were around in the mid-'90s, then you knew Reggie Miller and that amazing team with Rick Smits, the Davis brothers, and you're a big fan. There's just no other way around it. And I called and left this voicemail on my brother John's, on his telephone device 2 years ago today. I was out in Los Angeles seeing a Dodger game, and he was seeing a Indianapolis Indians AAA ball club game with our buddy Steve Brinning. Here's the voicemail, and I'll tell you what happened after the voicemail. And I break up a little bit on this voicemail, which I'm actually kind of glad because it just sells it as even more real. All right, here it is.
Dude, I just got back from Malibu, which of course is one of the coastal cities in Southern California. It's only about a 45-minute drive with no traffic.
That's true.
Dude, I partied with Reggie Miller and Rick Smits last night. They were at the Dodger game. Reggie Miller lives out here. Rick Smits, I guess, was visiting. Dude, they're 4 rows ahead of me at the Dodger game. Dude, as the game went on, people were leaving. I couldn't help myself. Of course, I was buzzed. I went up and just said, hello, I'm from Indianapolis. I'm a big fan. They were so cool, dude, and partying. So they were a little drunk. Dude, invited me back to Malibu where they were having some people over. Dude, Smiths. Dude, I am blown away. Best night of my life. I ended up spending the night. Just got an Uber home. Call me, dude. I'll tell you all about it. All right, man. Well, I hope you had fun at the Indians game.
So I kind of put the knife in there at the end. You know, I'm like, oh, yeah, I partied with Rick Smith. It was the best night of my life, and hope you had fun at the Indians game with Steve Brinning. Blah. So, yeah, that was just a little bit of... So, dude, he calls me back right away. Like, he got the message. He calls me back, my brother John, and he's like, oh, my God, are you kidding me? I'm like, oh, my God, it was the best night of my life. And I kept the joke going for so long, I finally just had to tell him it's April Fool's Day. But I told him, I go, dude, Reggie Miller's house is absolutely beautiful. He's got a half-court set up right off his living room. And I went out there and grabbed a ball. I was at the three-point line. Oh, man, I just dropped one of my earbuds. But anyway, I go, dude, I went out to the three-point line, and they're all going, Steve, 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 Steve. And I threw it up, total prayer, and it went in. And the place went crazy. Everyone at the party was just going nuts. I was teasing Reggie Miller at one point. I'm like, what was that game where you got like 16 points in 4 seconds? And they're all laughing and loving it. And I went back out to the three-point line for try number 2. Dribbled. I'm like, of course, there's no way this is going in. Shot it up at the three-point shot, and it went in. And the place went insane. And my brother John was just like, oh, my God, this is amazing. I just can't believe it. That's so cool. And then finally I was like, dude, I'm joking. And he goes, what? Like, there was so much hurt in his voice. And I go, it's April Fool's. None of that happened. I didn't meet Reggie Miller. I didn't party with Rick Smits. I didn't spend the night in Malibu with, Reggie Miller and party. And he was like, oh, man. And he was so bummed that I realized in that moment what a good guy my brother John was. Because if the roles were reversed, there'd be a little part of me going, good. Because I'd be so jealous. So anyway, yeah, that's my April Fool's Day story. And this video is 4 minutes long, so no one is going to watch it. All right, peace. 2 quick things to add. 1, I referred to my brother John in past tense. He is still with us, so this is not a sad story. 2, I said my brother John was a good guy. He is a good guy. I love you, man. Number 2, John actually said at the end of that phone call, because after I told him it was April Fool's joke, none of that really happened. He goes, you know what? If you had said you made 3 3-pointers, I would have known. And I was like, oh yeah, that's what would have tipped you off?